So, do you remember when the last new Seat was? Well, that would be April 2021. Yes, Seat hasn't revealed a car for almost 5 years, and quite a few people, including me, thought that the Seat brand was going to be discontinued in favour of the Cupra brand. Well, it turns out we were all very, very wrong. 2026 looks like to be the year for Seat. They are coming back fighting with an updated version of the Seat Leon and some hybrid cars. But first, before all of this, Seat has revealed two new facelift cars. These are the new Seat Ibiza and Seat Arona facelift. Today we are going to have a look at the Ibiza. Let's have a look to see if Seat is making a comeback or if they are just extending its life to exist. Welcome to Everything Cars and More. So let's start with the front of the new Seat Ibiza, and to start with, it has a completely different front end from what we are used to. To start with, we get a thinner but wider new grille with a mesh pattern on, and it sort of has a curvier layout than before, which makes this car feel very modern but also makes the car feel wider too. We also get a new set of headlights with a pointier design and a new triangle daytime running light graphic, which makes this car look like it now has eyebrows, which is quite interesting actually. Lower down on the central air vent we get this aggressive design, a bit like what the pre-facelift Corsa F had. To the sides of this we do get a set of new thin side vents which are actually real and do vent the front wheels to make the car more aerodynamic. Finally, we also get a new bonnet design to finish the front end off. Moving around to the side of the new Seat Ibiza, and now no physical changes to talk about apart from some new colour and wheel options. They aren't the most modern looking wheels in the world, but they still look fresh and keep the car feeling up to date. Moving around to the back of the Ibiza, and just like the front we do get some changes. To start with though, the tail lights are the same as before, as too is the Seat badge. But the Ibiza badge and FR badge on this model have this dark chrome grey effect to it, making it feel a bit more modern but also a bit unique because most brands either do a silver badging or black badging. The bumper is the next thing that has changed though. To start with, it has a similar aggressive design to the front central air vent. This does make it feel a bit cheap now in my opinion, as there is a lot of matte black plastic. But it does make it unique as most companies don't do that anymore. We also get a fake lower rear diffuser and some fake exhausts now, which is a shame, but overall it is a sporty looking car. Right, let's have a look to see what engine and gearbox options you can have with the new Seat Ibiza facelift. So for the Seat Ibiza facelift there are two engine options available at the moment. Let's start with the base model. This uses a 1 litre TSI turbo petrol unit with 94 brake horsepower. This can be had with a 5-speed manual and power is sent to the front wheels. 0 to 62 is dealt with in 10.9 seconds, so it isn't too bad for a base model actually. The next version that is available is the same 1 litre turbo engine, but the power has been increased to 114 brake horsepower and can be had with either a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic gearbox, which is the DSG version. This can do 0 to 62 in about 9.8 seconds, which again isn't really too bad, but it depends on what gearbox you go for. Now, unfortunately, we won't be getting a 1.5 litre turbo TSI petrol unit with 148 brake horsepower, or the 174 brake horsepower version found in the Fabia 130 Special Edition, but other markets will receive these engines. Now, I can understand why, and it's because it will be eaten into Cupra's territory. What we should be getting though is a set of mild hybrid engines, and these will be released in 2027, which will be interesting to see. This may also help actually restart the brand. Right, the price of the new Seat Ibiza facelift starts at £20,995, which actually undercuts the Skoda Fabia by about £400, which is quite interesting, as Skoda used to be the cheapest out of the three. Anyway, let's have a look to see what the interior is like. So climbing inside the new Seat Ibiza, and really there isn't that many changes to talk about. The main changes that we do have are a few new graphics on the infotainment system and instrument cluster, as well as some new trim panels and materials. This means we get a decently designed dashboard design that has a shelf design to it. The infotainment system is the older style unit, but it does work quite well and has also been upgraded, so you can now have a premium sound system, which is great. We also have the same steering wheel as before too, and we also get some physical climate control buttons and a physical gear shifter, which is getting quite rare nowadays, especially with this proper handbrake too, so you can do some great handbrake turns. Practicality isn't too bad on this one, but one fairly big change though is that we get these sport bucket seats, just like what the Cupra models have. This is a nice addition, and it does make the Seat feel a bit more special, but it also makes it feel quite rare to find a Super Mini with sport bucket seats. Very nice then. Right, let's have a look to see what the rear seats are like. So, climbing into the back of the new Seat Ibiza Facelift, and there is no surprise that legroom and headroom is the same as before. Now, it isn't the best for an adult, but they can do a decent journey in it. Anyone over my height of 6'2" will struggle. Sadly, we don't get any creature comforts in the back like USB-C ports, just like what the Polo has for example, and even the Vauxhall Corsa. It also feels a bit claustrophobic in the back too because of these sport bucket seats on the FR models. They are comfy, those seats, but not the best for the rear passengers. Also, there is a lot of cheap plastics in the back too, more than you would have thought of. But anyway, let's have a look to see what the boot space is like. Now, one thing that Seat was always good for was the boot size, but that is because it's a German Volkswagen Group car and they always have class-leading boot size. This is no different, as here the boot stands at 355 litres, which is very good. Folding the seats down a 60-40 split, however, it extends to 1165 litres. You can also have an adjustable boot floor too, which is quite useful to hide items underneath. So, in summary then, what do I think of the new Seat Ibiza Facelift? Well, the design on the outside is different enough to call it a new model, but the interior is the same as before, but it is no negative as it has always had a good interior. Practicality is about the same though as other rivals, which is good. The only question that does worry me though is it enough to help the Seat brand become relevant again like it did 5 years ago? Well, it is a start, which is something, but I do hope there will be some more bigger things to come, especially on the facelifts of the Leon and the new hybrid engines. Now it is time for Seat to push higher than its competition more than ever. So, what do you think of this car then? Leave a comment below, and whilst you're at it, don't forget to give a like and subscribe to Everything Cars and More. I'll see you in the next video.